Hi, everybody. It's Steve Halley here with the Family Peace Initiative, and welcome to the February 2023 Facilitators Tool Chest blog or vlog, however we want to think about it. Uh, I've been really enjoying learning a little bit about the violent and aggressive nature of 2-year-olds or thereabouts. Not all 2-year-olds are violent and abusive and aggressive, but many are. And when I was watching a YouTube video about this, I really connected with my son. And when he was, somewhere between 2 and 3, we were at a church carnival, and he was having a wonderful time. It was on a Saturday evening. It was a beautiful night, and me and Dorothy and Max are, just enjoying being out in the evening. And Max is playing in all these games in a little bouncy house, and finally, all good things have to end sometime. And so we said, hey, Max, we're going to have to go. Why don't you pick one more thing to do, and then we'll just, pack up and head home for the night. Well, he says, okay, that sounds great. He goes over to the bouncy house. He takes off his shoes, and he's just bouncing and bouncing and bouncing and just having a great time. And he finally has bounced enough. He hops out, and he's putting his shoes back on, and I'm thinking we're just about to walk to the car when off he goes, off to some other game, and he's not ready to leave. And so I catch up to him, and I say, hey, Max, we made a promise that we were going to leave after the bouncy house, and so I think we need to go. And he tried to kind of get away, and I kind of snagged his arm, and I picked him up and put him on my shoulders, which was where he lived for a big portion of his young life. He spent a lot of time riding on my shoulders, but he was mad. He didn't want to leave. He was going to get his way, and he was, really tensing up and struggling. And then, complete surprise to me, he goes wham, and he hits me right in the side of the head. And Dorothy is like, reprimanding him, Max, we don't hit people, all this stuff. And I'm kind of going, ouch, that was a solid shot. And, but he clocked me. But it was clear that he didn't get his way, but he had this intense emotional energy inside himself that he didn't know what to do with. And that punch was a product of his inability to manage his own emotional feelings. Well, there's other examples of that. My great-granddaughter, Zariah, who's just a hoot, she Camry, my granddaughter, nursed her for well over a year. And so, but all good things have to come to an end, right? And so Camry starts putting limits on when the nursing is going to occur, and she starts, putting boundaries on, no, we're not nursing now, we're going to nurse later. And I was over visiting them, me and Dorothy were there, and Zariah decided it was time to nurse. And Camry was, no, we're not nursing now, this isn't one of the times that we're going to nurse. And Zariah kept saying, no, I want to nurse. And Camry kept saying, no, we're not going to nurse. And before it was all said and done, Zariah was not getting her way, and she went bam and hit her mom right up on the side of the face. And now Camry is teaching, oh, no, we do not hit when we're angry. We do not hit the people that we love. And she started reinforcing that the violence is not okay. There's other examples of that. You can see kids getting in arguments about sharing toys and hitting people with their toys. And the one that's got me on alert is when, these young kids bite when they feel something. I remember Max latching onto my back of my shoulders with his teeth, and he wouldn't let go. And I was, holy smokes, I became afraid of, is Max going to bite me again? Because it left a pretty solid mark on me where he latched his teeth onto my back here. But the idea, when you dig into it a little bit further, is that the kids' brains have not developed to the point where they can really make sense out of all this emotional energy, right? Dr. Bruce Perry talks about this, that it's up to us, the adults, to teach our kids, especially young kids, how to soothe themselves, how to make sense of this intense emotional experience that's going on long before the prefrontal cortex comes online. This emotional energy is happening. And so we have to soothe them. We rock them. We sing to them. We hum to them. We are, picking them up and holding them close, all in a process of helping them learn to soothe, right? So by the time people get to kindergarten, there's much less of that activity. And, and I should say, it's not all 2-year-olds who, act in those ways when they're emotionally activated, but there is a lot of them that do. It's kind of a normal part of raising children, right? But then Dr. Natalie Hoskins comes in and she says, look what we're doing in abusing our boys and our men as we're raising them to become men, right? We are teaching them emotional restricted expression. We're teaching them the exact opposite of what we're trying to teach 2-year-olds to help them become less violent, right? We're teaching them, don't tell people you're sad. Don't tell people you're afraid, or else you'll be weak, you'll be soft, you'll be a girl, you'll be whatever it would be, right? But we're teaching people emotional restriction. And Dr. Hoskins talks about that the research is very clear about the correlation between emotional restricted lifestyle and beliefs and violence and aggression. So by restricting emotional expression, we're inviting people. What are they supposed to do, right? What are people supposed to do if I'm sad and I can't be sad? I have to hide that. I have to protect it. If I'm afraid and I don't want people to see me as weak and vulnerable, right? I have to hide being afraid. And one of the easiest ways to do that is by getting angry and making somebody else afraid, giving it away, what we call like a football. We hand off our fear and make our partner afraid, our colleagues afraid, our peers afraid, whoever it is that we want to give it to, so that we don't have to experience it and then have to be seen as a part of us. And so I would argue with you that emotional expression is a huge part of our battering intervention process, and it needs to be a part of your approach to working with those who batter. Right? These are people, if you, as a rule, right, not overgeneralizing, but as a rule, people come in completely unable to express their emotional experience. They have a difficulty even saying the words sad and afraid. They've been so conditioned to distance themselves from that. And so being able to build a place where we can help activate people, activate feelings in their bodies, not artificially, but in real life circumstances, so that people can recognize them, put voice to them, and manage them, right? Sit with that feeling until it just passes like clouds in the sky. And so, if you're working in a BIP, one of the components has to be an affective component in order to help people learn how to manage their emotional experiences. And we can draw from the lessons from raising 2-year-olds who get loaded with emotional energy. Many act out violently through biting and hitting and kicking and pulling hair. And then we have to socialize them into peaceful, respectful behaviors. And the same is true to a large degree with adults. If we're not helping adults learn how to not bite, kick, scream, pull hair, and all that stuff, it becomes dangerous. And I can tell you, managing Max when he hits me in the side of the face when he was 2 is quite different than managing Max if he were to hit me in the side of the face when he's 26 years old. I want no part of that one. And helping him to be emotionally savvy protects all kinds of people from cruelty in the long run. And so give that some thought. Read Dr. Gottman's book about the raising an emotionally healthy child, and come back and see me next month in March. We'll put another one of these out as we welcome spring. Hopefully by then, maybe we'll see some flowers popping up and this winter weather will be letting go of its grip. So you guys have a good February. Happy Valentine's Day. See you soon.